All right. Now, I am pretty sure that most of you guys were around when Isaias went through. I hope I'm not incorrect. I think I saw most of you guys, nobody's been taken away off the roll or anything. So most of you guys were here. So y'all have experienced a very low level hurricane. And like we talked about the other day, they are Mother Nature's miracle. They call them Mother Nature's miracle because they're such a phenomenal storm. They're the most powerful storms on Earth. I know you think tornadoes are really powerful, and they are. Some tornadoes can wipe out a whole city, but hurricanes can wipe out a whole state. And they can make the state just go into a real bad compromised position, kind of like what Florence did when you guys went through Florence. Florence hit as a category 1, but it dropped a ton of rain and it flooded a lot of places. So a lot of people think that wind is the big culprit in hurricanes, and it is. Wind can damage a lot of things, but one of the most dangerous things about hurricanes is the water. The water that comes and the water that drops out of a hurricane is what generally kills most people. Usually people don't die because of the winds. You know, if you're not smart enough to stay inside when there's 150-mile-an-hour winds blowing, then, you know, I don't know what else, you know, we can do for you. You shouldn't go outside when it's blowing 105 miles an hour. Something could fly and hit you in the head. A tree could fall on you. There's multitudes of things that could happen to you. So generally the water is what kills people. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit about hurricanes. We might not get through everything today because they're very simple looking, but they're also very, very complex. And there are certain criteria that happen for them to happen. And they only happen 6 months out of the year. So this right here is just a picture of a hurricane. Now, I don't know what hurricane this is. I just picked it up off the internet. But this is one that is just clouds. I'm going to show you some thermal imaging hurricanes as well. Now, real easy, this is the parts of a hurricane, and this hurricane is actually going in motion. So this is a time lapse of a hurricane. And one thing I really want you to notice is that I told you this the other day. All hurricanes are low pressure systems, all of them. Now, not all low pressures are hurricanes. That's not going to happen. But all hurricanes are lows. And let's see which way this sucker's spinning. All right. This is a northern hemisphere one. So look, it is going counterclockwise. It is going around in a counterclockwise fashion. So you can see it rotating. All right. Now, this right here is a picture of Hurricane Floyd, I believe. And this was a huge hurricane way before you guys were born. This is me and Mr. Murphy were around here, and Hurricane Floyd was a horrible hurricane for us. Dropped a lot of rain on us. But these are the basic parts of a hurricane. There's only 3 parts to a hurricane, okay? So the middle part right here, that is going to be the eye of the hurricane. Okay, the middle part. There's usually not any clouds in it. It's generally very different from a hurricane going through. There's no wind, there's no clouds. Sometimes if you get caught in the eye of a hurricane, you can go outside and look up and you can see stars or the sunshine sometimes because there's no clouds in it. Now, just on the outer edge of this really peaceful area, the eye is very peaceful. Okay? There is a small little stretch right here. This little part right here is called the eye wall. And the eye wall surrounds the eye, okay? Now this is really, really strange. The eye wall is the most dangerous part of the hurricane. This is where all the really high winds are. Most of the really, really intense rains are in this little area. So if the eye wall goes over you, you're going to be in some trouble. Now, when Isaias went over us, we got the eye wall for that whole entire time pretty much. That's why it was so intense that night, is because we got some really powerful parts of the hurricane. So the eye is super peaceful, and right on the outside of the eye is the most intense. It's really weird. And then all of these right out here, these are spiraling rain bands. Okay? And spiraling rain bands bring multitudes of precipitation to your area. So when Florence came through, we got a lot of those spiraling rain bands. They hung around for a long time. That's why we got 30 inches of rain. It was a lot of rain falling, and typically hurricanes don't drop 30 inches. They drop about 10 to 15, but Florence was a very, very strange hurricane because it stuck around for so long and it just hung out and dropped all this moisture, and that's why everybody's homes flooded and the rivers flooded and so many people died from drowning. A very dangerous part of the hurricane. So let's keep going. Now this is a thermal image, and those of you that play like Call of Duty or all these video games and you put on your thermal imaging goggles, this is a thermal image of a hurricane. I don't know what hurricane this is. It was from 2014, so I don't remember, but this is a really good picture of where the intensity of the hurricane is. So if you look at these reds right around there, that means that those are really, really hot, very high cloud tops, those cumulonimbus clouds. So all of this hurricane is a gigantic storm cloud. And this really shows you the eye and the eye wall and then the spiraling rain band. So you see the eye right there? What color is it? It's blue. Look at what color the water is. It's blue. So basically when they took this image, they shot straight down through it and they see nothing but ocean through that eye because it's totally clear. And then this little line